All right, I have not done this in forever, but we are actually doing a double upload today. And this really flies in the face of me saying I'm not a Batman channel specifically, because this whole week has just been like Batman stuff, DC news, everything like that. This will be calming down a little bit next week, although we'll still be covering this stuff. But today, I do want to talk a little bit about the new Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League, everything that we know from the trailer, what we've seen, and some of what Sefton Hill said, who actually is, like really the head of this with Rocksteady. This was created by the same team that created Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and Arkham Asylum, obviously barring anybody who left or moved on to other positions. According to Sefton Hill, a new franchise for gaming is Rocksteady's spin on these characters. And one thing that's probably the biggest thing to note is that everybody was expecting Gotham Knights to be the new Arkham game. However, it really looks like this is it. And the reason that I say that is because Sefton Hill says that this is a continuation of the Arkhamverse. It's a continuation of the Arkham universe, whatever that means. He says it's a continuation of that Arkhamverse. So what does this mean? I'm going to say just right off the bat, we don't fully know. I mean, is this actually a full-on Arkham game, or does he mean that it's going off in a different direction? We don't fully know what he means by this, because there are a lot of things in here that maybe are referenced at different points in time, but are never actually explicitly shown. We do have Harley Quinn here. That does line up very well with the Arkham universe. Also King Shark, obviously. One of the things that didn't line up super well, and this I suppose you could say is a nitpick, but it's just weird because Rocksteady is so particular with their details, is the fact that, Deadshot was always a white guy in the Arkham games, so it's kind of an interesting change. I mean, I don't think it really matters. It's just when I saw that at first, I was like, oh, this is in a separate continuity. I also do want to point out that when Sefton Hill says that this is a continuation of the Arkhamverse, I personally don't think that's a literal statement. There's a few reasons I say that. The first off is obviously, like we mentioned, that Deadshot is not the same character anymore, or at the very least, it is a different interpretation of this character. It could be a small retcon, and that's fair enough. You can definitely do that if you'd like. I don't personally really care about that sort of thing. It's the same way that I feel about Zoe Kravitz playing Catwoman. It just doesn't matter to me. However, when you also add that in with the fact that King Shark is now not dead, it's just kind of weird, and it's making me wonder where this is taking place if it is in the Arkham universe. And King Shark, for those of you who don't remember, died in Assault on Arkham, the movie, which was always touted as a canon movie to the Arkhamverse. So things are just getting a little messy. I really think that this is more of a spiritual successor to the Arkhamverse. However, I could be proven wrong on that, and this is conjecture based on what we have. What could be happening here, and it is possible, is that this is an Arkham universe game set prior to Arkham Asylum, and that you're just acting like Batman was a member of the Justice League the whole time. But it starts to get really messy to try and actually put this into that timeline. Some other details that are worth noting are actually that this game is coming in 2022 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. So it looks like this is a next-gen exclusive game in terms of its actual release. So that's interesting to see, and it is a little ways out. So we do have some waiting to do, but nonetheless, I'm certainly excited and cautiously optimistic about the game in the meantime. And, even though we really only see this actual CGI trailer in here, I do think it's also worth noting that some of what's going on here is, without saying it, it does look like there is a Brainiac connection here. We do see a massive skull crashed in the background, a robotic skull satellite looking thing, which really does look like the Brainiac satellite, even though he's not mentioned by name. And when we see Superman actually show up in this trailer, he does look a little different than normal. He has sort of a veiny look on his face. He's very angry. He looks a little out of it. And he does pretty much straight up vaporize a dude in this trailer, although it cuts away from that. So what it appears is going on is that the Justice League is actually controlled by Brainiac or some some sort of outside force, unless we're going with an absolutely bonkers interpretation that this is like a Superman clone or something. We don't know about that yet, but it really does look like the Justice League is being controlled from the outside. However, that's something that we sort of have to surmise just from looking at Superman and what we see in this trailer. Why the Suicide Squad? This is a question that a lot of people have asked, from obviously the Batman Arkham subreddit all the way down to the comments on YouTube. Why are they going with Suicide Squad? And that's something that they wanted to address in this little show that they did, in the little panel. And Sefton Hill said that they looked at characters that they wanted to bring to life, and that they wanted to do that with the Suicide Squad specifically, the same way that they did for Batman. They wanted to put the squad in a situation that is impossible, which is where they felt that they would shine, sort of like how they put Batman in his own situations that were unique to him. And the point of this game is sort of to do that and bring those characters to life in the same way. Again, what confuses me is what continuity this is in, because Sefton says continuation of the Arkham universe. We're also looking at each character, and one thing that Sefton said is that each character is going to have a unique and rich move set. This is something that we see said about a lot of different characters whenever there's multiple to play as. So I do think it's worth noting that as well. But he also said that you're developing weapons over the course of the game and have melee weapons, and every character has their own unique abilities, such as Deadshot doing a fuel dump on enemies and being able to set them on fire, and plays differently than Harley Quinn. This is a 1 to 4 player co-op game or single player game. It doesn't really matter, according to what Sefton said. This is a lot like Avengers. It's also a lot like what we saw from Gotham Knights, so I'm kind of thinking this is a bit of a new trend going forward with a lot of these games. I understand a lot of people don't like that. I am personally open to it, but I understand the reservations to it in terms of being cautious about it. He did say, though, that if you want to play just one player, bots will fill in the team so that you can enjoy it the same way. However, if you play 2 players, there will be 2 other bots filling in the other 2 roles. Let's say you want to play 3 players, there will be 1 bot. It actually does compensate for that and make it so that you have a full squad with you at all times and can focus on the character that you want to play as, which I think is a really neat idea. Overall, like I said, this is mostly what we know about it, other than just, the actual playable characters. King Shark, obviously, Deadshot, we have Harley Quinn, and we have Captain Boomerang. And obviously, if this is the same Arkham verse, this is obviously the same Harley Quinn that we saw in the Batman Arkham games, which is interesting and makes me wonder where this would line up in the timeline. I'm very excited to know more about this and learn more, and I'm interested to see what you guys think as well and what your opinion is in the comments down below. So please be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below about this game. Do you have, are you cautiously optimistic? Are you like, oh man, I'm not interested in this at all? I think that it's important to talk this sort of stuff out because I just get hyped for a lot of this stuff. So to be fair, I totally do get people's frustrations with not getting in our Batman game right now, particular to him, or also being weirded out by the choice of the Suicide Squad. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Please, both help me. The engagement really does help me. Leave a comment letting me know what you think. Check out the new Let's Play channel in the description down below. All the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, my Patreon if you want to help out the channel in that way. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, stay shway.